Hello shut-in dance filmmakers, my name is Oleg Lotka. I am a dance filmmaker based in Toronto, and in the past 6 years I have been filming many dancers and artists all around the world. Just about 2 months ago I came back from an amazing trip traveling to 3 continents and 13 countries, filming contact dancers in their natural environment. Streets, deserts, forests, lakes, beaches, you name it. I right now am just like you, isolating in my house, and it can be really daunting to pick up a camera and film. That is why I am so happy to find this platform, this Shut-in Dance Film Festival, as a platform to learn and to share, to grow and to connect with fellow creators. So, other dance filmmakers already shared amazing advice and given you a lot of great information, and I cannot agree with them more. So what I decided to do is do something a little bit different. What I will do is throw a bunch of creative ideas on how to shoot dance in your house. I know it's daunting even for me to work within such constraints, but let's do this together. I'm gonna keep it very simple. Everything I do can be recreated with a cell phone camera or a cheap DSLR. All you need is something to film with and very basic softwares, editing software. One thing to keep in mind, I am a dance filmmaker and not a dancer, so no judgment. I will leave things to your imagination. Let's get started and I'll see you at the end. Okay, use backlight. So I am here in my living room and I have this great big source of light, and I would usually use it to illuminate the dancer. But for this look particularly, I am going for a backlight. I am placing my camera in front of the window. This way you can only see my silhouette, and it gives a much more dramatic, interesting look. Remember, if we are going for a silhouette, moving forward and backwards doesn't really make sense. What makes it look the most beautiful is going side to side, creating beautiful shapes for the camera. So in order to achieve this look, remember to expose for the brighter sides of the images. So you see here the city and the sky is well lit and not the body. Any camera you're working with should give you an option of manual exposure. Go for that, otherwise you will have this look, which is the opposite of what I wanted. But here's what happens where I expose for the dancer. Use hard light. Okay, I am in the same living room, and instead of a big soft light like a sun coming through the clouds, I have one big lamp. This is a hard light. This creates a very different look, and I normally wouldn't go for it, but here I really wanted this feeling of a little bit of drama, of almost being in the spotlight or being interrogated. It's a much more dramatic look, and I love it. If you have a quarantine buddy, or if you have a lamp that you can turn on and off with your foot, like I have, you can play with it and turn the light off and on together with the music you're dancing to. Also a great idea if you have a little bit of backlight or a little bit of side light somewhere else, so when you turn off that main light, you still can see yourself just a little bit. I also love the reflection there in the window. Coming up next, shoot different angles. Okay, take that as an exercise, as a creative game. Go around your house and try to shoot yourself dancing from different angles. Here, I placed my phone literally on the floor and just danced over it. In the next shot, I will place it very high up over a counter. Just play with it. Overhead shot. Okay, one can argue that this should go into a previous trick, but overhead shots are so important for my style. I love overhead shots, and in previous work, I always look for a way to get that perspective. I often do overhead shots in my house. All I do is put my tripod with a camera on my counter and press it down with some weights. Here is my camera assistant. She's actually the one who pressed the record button. Okay, kind of joking. She's been giving me trouble all day long. If you need to shoot on a cell phone, don't worry. You can just place the cell phone on the counter and press it down with a book. Also check out YouTube. There are hundreds of tutorials on how to stick your phone to a ceiling with just using cardboard and tape. Remember to shoot ins and outs so the movement makes sense in the editing. All right, moving on. Use prop in an unusual way. The keyword unusual. Okay, here I played with a scarf, with a prism, with a bunch of glassware, and with a shirt. The scarf didn't really work, but it worked for a different reason, and I will explain it to you later. Keyword foreground. Here I was playing with my prism. I doubt you would have a prism laying around your house, but who knows? If you don't have a prism, I just grabbed a bunch of wine glasses. It gives you this very cool effect. Play with it by just rolling it in front of the camera. Remember, these are only 2 to 5% of your dance film. These are just little treats throughout your film. Most of your film is about dance, but sprinkle these little tricks, little beautiful images to make your story stand out. Okay, here I literally stuck my head through a shirt. Also, not very crazy about it. Maybe if I throw some effects on it, it'll be fun. But, you know, you live, you learn. You wouldn't know until you try. This one is another beer mug that I used. Okay, leverage foreground. I can talk about it for hours, but this is my favorite part about filmmaking. Always try to use foreground, middle ground, and background. This is what makes images pop and make them look alive. I just showed you some examples from my past work and also at home, using that scarf to sweep from the foreground into the middle ground, into the background. Okay, this is a fun one. It sounds complicated, but it's really, really simple. Trust me, all you need is a background that does not move. You need to shoot yourself, change clothes, change character, shoot yourself second time, put it into any basic editing software, overlay one image on top of another, cut it in half to reveal the footage underneath. Boom, done. Here my cat messed up the shot, and I also went a little bit too far and crossed into the other frame, but luckily I did 2 takes and I have a good one. Be creative and play with it. Online collaborations, we've all seen a lot of them recently on the internet. Call up your friends, whether they are musicians, dancers, actors, play with it. You can choreograph something or even do an improv. It's fascinating to watch many faces and many bodies on the screen at the same time, doing something together. Here's another editing trick that I sometimes use when I edit solo dancing. Here I was in a desert somewhere in Jordan. All I did here was duplicating the same layer 3 times, overlaying it on top of one another and changing speeds and opacity. It's fascinating to see body tracing itself and coming back into the center. Use these metaphors sparingly, but feel free to use them to spice up your story, your footage, and your film. Okay, this is where I ran out of time, but I wanted to leave you with some final thoughts and leftover ideas. I've also been adjudged at several film festivals, including a dance film festival, so I have seen a lot. And here are some of my favorite tools and metaphors to use in dance films. Use poetry, spoken word, even read out of your journal. Bring in nature, go outside, pick up branches, leaves, flowers, stick them in your pockets, in your hair, lay down on the floor, make it fun and beautiful. Dance with shadows. Have one hard light source and an empty wall behind you. Illuminate yourself to project the shadow onto the wall and shoot the wall. Dance with a mirror. There are a lot of examples online of beautiful choreographies done with a mirror. Give it a try and perhaps use it as a partner. Match cut. If you don't know what it means, look it up online. It is one of my most favorite and diverse tools of filmmaking. You can match cut between you wearing different clothes, between you holding the same shape in different places. You can even match cut between ideas and thoughts. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions or struggles, feel free to reach out and ask me questions. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, website. And let's get creating. I hope to see some of your work at the Shut in Dance Film Festival.